Hey everybody, so I am going to just put a little bit of a trigger warning at the start of this video because I am going to be talking about some pretty heavy topics, including disordered eating, loss of period, stuff along those lines. So if any of that triggers you or makes you uncomfortable, please don't watch this video. So big question is probably, why am I making this video? I'm still asking myself that, but deep down I know. Many of you are probably gonna be like, this is so TMI, like you don't need to be putting this on the internet. But the thing is, I've made my life so public on this YouTube channel, and I've always been preaching like being authentic. And I really just think like I owe it to everyone who watches this channel, because most of you are my family, my friends, my teammates, my coaches, all people I really care about. And I just don't think it would be fair for me to just disappear for months and not provide some bit of an explanation of what's going on. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. I played soccer ever since I was a little kid and all the way up to sophomore year of high school. I then switched to track to stay in shape for soccer, like anticipating that I was going to go back in the fall. But I ended up truly like loving running, and I was like, okay, this is like the sport that I actually want to stick with. But sorry, it's hard to not like blame myself, because at the end of the day, like I made all these choices, and I'm now dealing with the repercussions of them, but I'm already getting ahead of myself. So I first got my period when I was 13 in 7th grade, and my period was pretty irregular. I would sometimes skip months here and there all throughout 7th and 8th grade. Once I started running in November for indoor track, my freshman year of high school, I just lost my period, and I just never have gotten it back. And it has been 6 years now. I'm a junior in college, and junior in college, it's November right now, 6 years that I haven't had my period. If you don't know anything about women's health and just like periods, sorry to any guys that are watching this, but I mean, this will be a educational learning for you too. But women are not supposed to go without their period. I don't care what some doctors say. Like, I have had doctors tell me it's fine, it's normal, you're a runner. I am living proof that it is going to hit you like a truck, and there are going to be repercussions of you not having your period down the line. And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but I feel like this scary reality has been like a wake-up call, and I feel like I need to share my current situation so that if I can help one girl out there who is dealing with something similar, from making the same mistakes that I did, I would be happy. So not having your period can have really bad repercussions for your bone health, your hormonal health, and just like health down the line of being a woman. And I will admit, in high school, I did not have the best relationship with food, and I did have an eating disorder sophomore year of high school. And I usually don't talk about this because it's really hard for me to talk about. It's not something that like I like to admit, but it's the truth. And I got taken out of running for 6 months, came back to running, weight restored, spring of sophomore year. And I do quotation marks because I was still very lean and should have continued to gain weight, but instead I just kept running. And it's really hard to gain weight while doing any sport. Being an athlete, you need to eat so much food, and I feel like I never understood that. I never starved myself. I would always have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks, but I can say that I probably was never eating enough. I just think like being a vegetarian, I was already restricting a food group, but I'm just gonna put out there that I'm a vegetarian for ethical reasons. Like, I truly do feel bad for the animals, and I was a vegetarian when I had my period in 7th and 8th grade. So it's definitely doable to be a vegetarian. But I was not doing it in the right way. And I was not fueling myself correctly. And on top of that, I was having really bad digestive issues. Sorry if this is all TMI, but it's true. And I had a doctor that told me you should try eliminating dairy from your diet and see if that helps. And I did. And looking back at it, that was a horrible decision, because when you eliminate something from your body, and this is not including allergies, if you have an allergy to dairy, gluten, eggs, nuts, obviously you're not going to eat those things, and that is totally understandable. You have an allergy. I do not have an allergy to dairy. I honestly feel like I've convinced myself that I have an allergy when I don't. I just eliminated dairy from my diet in high school, I believe like senior year or end of junior year, and just completely just cold turkey. And so now if I ever have dairy, it hurts my stomach. Shocker. My body's probably like, what the heck is this thing? So I was still having issues even when I eliminated dairy. So in the back of my head, I was like, I'm not eating dairy anymore, and I'm still having stomach issues. What is going on? So my doctor tells me to take out gluten on top of dairy. Thankfully, I did not listen to that, but I'd be lying if that didn't get in my head, and it made me scared of gluten products. And I always felt like, oh, is this gonna give me a stomach ache? So literally I had developed this fear of food, essentially. I literally just got so anxious about everything, because I'm like, is this gonna hurt my stomach? Is this gonna hurt my stomach? And especially in college, I was always just like, oh my gosh, I'm having all these digestive issues. This is so embarrassing. I'm taking a probiotic and nothing's working. I'm like, I'm definitely not gonna incorporate dairy back in. And this was so toxic, so bad, because by eliminating these food groups, I was giving my body no options. I just kept convincing myself it was okay. I'm okay. I've never broken a bone. I am running fine. I want to be running so much faster. I don't understand why I'm not running faster. And now I'm kind of just laughing at myself. I'm like, you're not running faster because you're not fueling your body enough. I always just convince myself I don't have an issue because I'm not starving myself. I eat every day. I'm fine, but I wasn't eating enough. And I feel like it's just so frustrating to me, because I had really good, obviously that doctor, if your doctor is telling you to omit an entire food group, please make sure that you actually have an allergy to it, or a genuine reason, you have celiac, or you cannot have the food. You've had an allergy test, because I even got a blood test to see if I was celiac. I'm not. I just have freaked myself out into thinking, oh, if I have gluten, I'm gonna have a stomach ache. And when you're anxious about stuff, you're going to think about when you're scared to run a race, or if you're not a runner, just anything that makes you nervous, I don't know, a big test, and your stomach hurts, you're not hungry, you don't want to eat. So I would scare myself around food, and I would freak out with options. I never knew what to pick, 'cause I'm which one's gonna not make me feel sick or bloated. And the thing is, bloating and using the bathroom, being regular, are normal human functions, and it's going to happen no matter what foods you eat. And even after eliminating so many things from my diet, I still have stomach issues, and that's just part of being human. And I just have made so many frustrating mistakes, but I can't go back and change time. But the biggest wake-up call has been about a month ago now. I started having, more than a month ago, I started having pain in my heel, as I mentioned in my last video about pre-nats. Felt horrible during that race. I cross-trained the 2 weeks leading up to Max. I was so stubborn. I was given the option not to race, but I just wanted to race. I convinced myself I was okay, even though in the back of my mind, I knew something was wrong. But I pushed through the race, felt horrible, just mentally, physically, and then got an MRI and X-ray that following Monday, and I had a stress fracture in my heel. I ended up getting a bone density scan, and I got my bone density results back, and I have osteopenia, and if you don't know what that is, it is when your bones are thinning, and it's not as bad as osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is bone loss, but osteopenia is not good. It means your bones are thinning, and luckily it is reversible. I just have to make changes now. And it's really hard, but I feel like I've known for the past 6 years that I still never had my period, and clearly 6 years of not having my period has led to my bones thinning, essentially, which is terrifying, and I need to make a change. This has been a wake-up call. As much as I wish this stress fracture didn't happen, I feel like this is like my sign from the universe that you need to take action now if you want to be a lifelong runner and a lifelong healthy human being. I just wish like I could have made these changes sooner, but I was just so stubborn. And at the end of the day, I only have myself to blame. But looking at that from a more positive lens, the only person that can fix this and make myself stronger is myself. I can have people tell me to do this and that for days, but if I don't take the action, nothing's gonna change. So I am going to be taking time off from running competitively. I have not used my redshirt seasons yet, but I am definitely redshirting indoor and possibly outdoor, but we're just taking things one day at a time. I'm gonna focus on now, and right now I need to prioritize my health and focus on getting stronger, building muscle, and just getting my body to work properly so that I can run past college. Like, I don't want to be done and crippled after these 4 years. I need to reverse this osteopenia and focus on getting healthy, and I'm still gonna be training, just easing back into running and not having the pressure of needing to be back in time for competition. If anything, I can come back for a 5th year. I have that eligibility. I'm not gonna make like any big decisions now, but as of right now, indoor is definitely off the table. Just gonna prioritize healing mentally and physically, and slowly getting back into running. I'm gonna have to bike first, then elliptical, Alter G. So it's gonna be a long, hard process, but if that means that I'll be able to run for the rest of my life, I'm gonna take this time off now, because this is just temporary. I will be back and I will be stronger. And if anyone is dealing with something similar, I know you got this. We're gonna go through this together, and don't give up on yourself, because there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And it sucks right now. Like, I hate that I'm gonna have to just not compete and not be there on the line with my teammates, but I'm going to still be there with them, just in a different way. I'm gonna be cheering them on and just focusing on trying to be the best teammate I can be while not competing, and just focusing on getting better and healthy so that when I come back, I can help my team and not be unhealthy doing it. So I'm rambling. Thank you so much if you listen to this, and yeah, I love you all. Bye.